Welcome back to Fans of the Band inside the Westlake Marching Band. This is episode 4. We are so pleased that you have made it this far with us, and I hope that you have enjoyed this podcast just as much as we have.
We have had so much fun, Mrs. Yadley.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say my name. Hello, I'm Miss Yadley.
That's okay. And I'm Mrs. Uselig. And I have to give the disclaimer, we are not sponsored by Westlake in any way, but just having a whole lot of fun for ourselves.
That's right.
This week, we're talking to Austin Byers, who is in charge of choreography, thus our title. And I have to tell you, I was expecting a lot of personality, and he delivered.
He did, didn't he? It was really great.
And every time I have listened to his story of his favorite band memory, I just sit there smiling and anticipating the end.
Oh, good. That's great.
So I also think he was so entertaining that I am shocked that this is our shortest episode.
That is kind of nutty. So maybe we'll have to talk to him again sometime.
Maybe.
Well, we hope you enjoy this episode, episode 4 of Inside the Westlake Marching Band. And let's listen.
We are back in the band office today after last week's attempt in the harp room with all the stand banging during our recording. So hopefully we'll get a good recording today with Austin Byers. And I want to tell a little story fast. He had no idea what was coming a couple weeks ago. And I said, you just wait. Your turn is coming. And with great enthusiasm, he goes, yay.
I was very excited. It's true.
We were all excited. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're going to start off with some rapid fire questions. And here we go. Where did you go to high school?
Westwood High School.
Did you march?
I did march.
What instrument did you play?
Trombone.
Ooh, really? Do you still play?
I do still play, but once every blue moon, I would say.
Okay. Where'd you go to college?
UT, University of Texas.
And did you march in college?
I did 1 year with the Longhorn Band.
Are you going to march an alumni band this weekend?
I am not going to march in alumni band.
I am. So, where'd you do your student teaching?
I did my student teaching at Westlake High School.
Oh, really? Okay. And how long have you been teaching at Westlake High School?
This is now my second year here at Westlake.
Fantastic. You have reached the end of the rapid fire questions.
That was mostly successful.
I know, right?
We were close.
Mostly, except for the, do you still play your instrument?
Right.
It took me a second. I was like, do I still play my instrument? Yes, I do.
Very good.
I'm excited to know you played trombone because I have
too.
a question about trombone later.
Okay. I'm excited.
So, Westlake High School student teaching. 2 questions about you being at Westlake. One, when you did your student teaching, it was the year of COVID.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah,
that's
it was
so crazy.
a little bit poor timing. Fortunately, couldn't control it, but it was all right. We made it through.
When you did it, were you included in all the online stuff when they went online?
I was. So I started off in person for the first 3-ish months, 2.5-ish months. And then obviously once COVID hit, we were doing all the online things. I did a lot with both. I was doing Hill Country Middle School and Westlake High School. And it was... I helped with some of the planning sessions, and then I was pretty much online for all of the online classes that I was able to go to. And it was an interesting time. It was a lot of like, we just want to make sure y'all are still playing your instruments. And obviously we spent a lot of time, or I know the directors at the time spent a lot of time organizing what they were going to do. But I would just, pop onto class and observe how we were teaching an online class. And it was a very interesting experience, I think, for anyone that was teaching during that time. I don't know if anyone necessarily wants to return to the online teaching by any means.
No thank you.
But I definitely still was able to, I think my favorite part was still getting to have a connection with the kids because I had established this relationship for the past 2 months. I'd seen them every day. And then it was like, oh, there they went.
You never even got to do the conducting part with them.
I did not.
Oh, you got cheated big time.
That was a challenging one. I only actually, in terms of leading an ensemble during my student teaching, I only did it once, and it was with the second band at Hill Country.
Oh, wow.
Because that was going to happen a little bit more frequently after spring break. So it was that was especially when I first started teaching, that was a big I had to, it was trial by fire, as some people
Kinda
say,
like-
you know,
yeah.
I was thrown into the deep end, and it was good for me, but it was a steep learning curve for sure.
Yeah, conducting is not the easiest part of teaching.
No.
Probably not. Probably not.
So you came into Westlake High at the same time as Mr. Turpin came in.
I did.
And he was your high school band director.
He was.
Was that a little bit awkward?
Not as awkward as you would think it would be, because so after I graduated from Westwood, I actually spent a few years there when I was at University of Texas, teching for their marching band. And so we kind of had established that relationship that he's no longer my teacher. We are now kind of we are co-workers in a way. And so we established what that professional relationship looked like at an early time. And then that also allowed us to become more establish our friendly relationship as well, because it was no longer just student to teacher at that point in time. And so coming to Westlake, I definitely had some nerves of I'm getting this experience every single day. But in practice, there was nothing to be nervous about. It's been amazing getting to teach with him.
Oh,
so
that's good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
He seems like a fun person to teach with.
He is
right?
hilarious to teach with. We keep ourselves laughing all the time. I think that's the only way you can do this job too, is by having a good time with the people you're around. So
I think
I
that's
agree.
any job. Any
That-
job.
you're so
Yeah,
right.
I think
It's
that's
not
any
just this
job.
job.
I think you're right. Okay.
In marching season, what do you mainly teach?
I lead the visual program of marching season. So I'm teaching the marching fundamentals. I'm teaching posture. I'm teaching, the dance and choreography side of things. So it's predominantly visual. But occasionally I'll lead some rehearsals here and there. I'll also lead classes during marching band season a lot of the time, because Mr. Turpin is oftentimes doing middle schools during the week. And so me and Mr. Pearson will tag team leading the classes. So.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in with a special move because we're about to ask a lot of different questions about choreo and choreography. Okay, so there's what I like to call a special move, even though I don't feel like it's special because I see it everywhere, right? And so again, what is it? Open second, right? And then the plie.
Yep.
And then you do the forced arch to one side, and then you immediately switch to a forced arch to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
So are we going to see that in the show this year?
You're going to see versions of it for sure.
I saw it.
You will see 100% the open second and open second plie. I love open second plies. I can't tell you why.
But they do a wave.
It's true. We do a little bit of wave things, I guess you could say.
I just want to make sure that what I really like to see, I guess, and I'm sure you've heard that if you've listened to any other podcast episodes, I just like it when the moves actually connect with the music,
Absolutely.
right? And the two go together, because what I'd seen, and I've mentioned this before, so sorry, listener, is sometimes it seems like that special move is just thrown into a show, right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, what are you doing that for? Come on. So
I think
I'm going to be watching.
I think people do it because it's so easily accessible. And sometimes I think people are like, what is something tangible that I can give my students who've never had any dance training, and let them do it and be successful. And I think that's why you see it so frequently. I agree. It's definitely not always the most musical thing, but sometimes it's very musical.
Sometimes it is.
And so you have to, it depends on, who your choreographer is, and people have very different backgrounds in terms of choreography and also music. And sometimes those align and sometimes those don't. And so that's where you see, I think, probably those discrepancies.
Got it.
All right. Can you break down how you teach these kids so much choreography in such a short amount of time? Because there are over 100 kids out there on the field, and every kid has a different position and a different movement and a different, it's like, you child, move here. You child, move there. I mean, that would take forever. How do you do it?
It definitely requires some planning for sure. It takes knowing. A lot of the time I try to have an idea of what I want to choreograph before I actually do it. Sometimes it is intense choreography and I know this is going to be really challenging to the students when they're first learning it. So maybe I'm going to use a class time. And for more challenging things, I use time where I can be up close and personal and teaching it to them. They have a little bit more time to digest because I can use. Yeah,
pause you for a second.
Absolutely.
Sorry, totally interrupting. What would be considered intense choreography?
So I would say things where their horns are away from their face.
Okay.
So like they're setting their horns down. We have this choreography that we just added in our ballad where they like their horns are on the ground and they get completely on the ground, like flat on the ground,
flat, laying down on the ground.
And they do really cool things to get to that position as well.
Okay.
And it's just shapes. It's shapes that they
Aaron?
don't often.
I saw them learning it.
Oh, okay.
And all the brass players were on the ground without their shoes.
Even the tuba players.
Even the tuba players.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I can't
That's not
wait
always
to
the
see
case,
that.
but I'm fortunate that even the tuba players are doing this one as well.
Oh.
So usually it's like things that are just away from the instrument and we can explore different body shapes that,
Okay.
Because when you're playing, you are limited to what you can do because you have to also focus on playing your instrument
Right.
and playing it at a high level. And so a lot of playing choreography usually just ends up being manipulating the lower body with maybe taking your upper body off center to the side. And so when I'm not teaching those things, it usually is a little bit more challenging or intense.
Okay.
Not all the time, but usually.
Interesting.
So, but going back to in terms of how we plan for that. So, I have a lot of roles in terms of, I know this person's going to do, or this line is going to do this version and this line is going to do this version. And so being able to like separate the field and put people in different groups is a way that we kind of teach choreography too. We're fortunate here at Westlake that we have a few people on staff that, can teach certain choreography. So we kind of come to agreement of, oh, let's do this. Oh, let's do this. And then we'll be like, awesome. You go teach that. You go teach that. And then we can divide and conquer. And that is really helpful as well. So it's just about how you plan your time, I would say.
Awesome.
It all still feels overwhelming to me.
I know, right?
I only have
me
like
too. Don't get me
6 or
wrong.
7 kids, and it's like,
It's a lot of like taking a step back and saying, it's not great right now, but it's going to get there. And I can see the vision. So
on just
Yeah.
like a day-to-day basis, morning rehearsals are what, an hour and 20 minutes?
yes, hour and 20 minutes. And then we have one after school rehearsal that's usually 3 hours.
So how many beats of choreography can you realistically teach in a morning rehearsal?
That's a great question. So again, it does depend on the level of specificity we want to get to. When we produce general moments, last week we were producing the first 2 pages of our show, but that's like, I think it is 5/16 of choreography. And we did that all in one rehearsal. Now, again, was it clean by any means? Absolutely not. And was it the final draft? No, but it was kind of like a rough slate. And so we were able to teach all of that choreography by keeping things repetitive, by referencing things that we do. We do like a dance exercise every day. And so we can pull things from a vocabulary that the students already know and say, okay, add this, and then let's make this little adjustment to it. And so that's a way that we kind of help go through that time faster.
I'm super curious about this one.
I am too, but let's make sure we don't call any
No names.
sections out.
Okay.
No specific, but we just want to know that this
Only
is awesome.
positives here.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Positive.
We don't want to
positive.
know if they're bad. So, do you see any patterns in which sections learn choreography faster than others?
Let's see if he says the right answer. We're going to see.
I have no right answer for this one, so
I like how he's thinking so much on this.
It's
He's really giving it some thought and trying to phrase it
I guess,
positively.
yes. I will say I do see patterns in terms of how students learn choreography.
But is there a specific section that is just far and above?
like I could see the flutes being a little more attuned to learning the choreography than say the tubas.
But see, I feel like the saxophones could, because it's not too hard to play the saxophone and master like a good sound and like playing. So they could focus on the choreography.
It's hard to say because I think it actually sometimes switches on a year-to-year basis.
Really?
Because there are sections this year that maybe did not stand out as much choreographically speaking that stood out more last year, and vice versa. I will say that students that you can tell when, how do I say this?
He's trying to be so diplomatic.
I am. I really am.
That's so nice.
You can tell
It's
when
good.
students
Positive.
understand their bodies for sure. I mean, like, obviously at their age, they're growing up. They're like, you're expecting me to do what? They're not used to having to move their bodies in this way. And so I will say that you can at least tell when students are comfortable in their body and are comfortable throwing themselves into things. And that is where I see the differences between sections. So we'll say that.
Good answer. Good answer.
So the outgoing saxophones, maybe they are the most successful.
Maybe so. I would think so.
Could be.
I would think so.
You'll never know.
Well, I'm going to come, watch a few shows. Then
And
I
then
could
you'll
tell
know.
you. Then I could tell you. Do you ever get any complaints about how much dance and choreography is involved in a marching show?
Surprisingly, no. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I think they're too scared to say it.
I
to
get
me.
complaints.
Yeah, I think it is something that not everyone relates to, and I totally recognize that. But I think what my perception is, a lot of students, when they are first learning something, they're excited to be just doing something different. And so it brings a lot of excitement. And I think when they it's so cool when they learn a full phrase of choreography and then they have this feeling of, I just did that.
Right.
And there's this immediate sense of excitement that they get. And they're like, wow, my show's going to be really cool. Even if it was the simplest choreography, they feel some kind of fulfillment there. And I think because of that, most of the feedback that I receive is like, Mr. Byers, this is so cool. Or as they love to say, Mr. Byers is cooking right now. If they see me
nice.
choreographing. And I will say that, I won't lie, that makes me feel great.
I'm sure, that's great.
I'm glad that a lot of them do love it. I think those that maybe don't attack the choreography as much and probably keep it to themselves, but they don't complain, which I appreciate.
Okay.
I'm surprised how much choreography I see at my house.
Oh, really? Really?
Did you know what we did
practicing?
today? Not always practicing,
Or
but
just showing off?
it's more like, oh, do you know what we did today?
Okay.
And I'm like, oh,
My quad's so sore.
yes. I'm like, oh, y'all have to do the Black Widow move?
Yep. I sent out a message last week when we were going to learn some new stuff. And I was like, if you want to bring your knee pads, you're welcome to. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. No one brought any knee pads. And I was like, well, that was your choice.
Oh my gosh. That is nuts. Do you ever feel badly about the choreography that's imposed on the drumline and tubas?
I wouldn't say yes, I do. I always want them to get more.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, more.
more.
That actually, yes.
Really?
I think a lot of times they are often overlooked, or not even necessarily overlooked, but they are staged on the field in a place where it is maybe not necessarily conducive for them to do the choreography the same that the rest of the band is doing. And I've seen it. There are tubas that are amazing movers, and then they just don't get to showcase that skill because of where they're placed on the field. And the same thing goes for the battery. And the battery, it's particularly challenging. Well, I guess for both of them, it's particularly challenging because of the size of their instruments. And so they're not able to do as much as everyone else is. And so that is, again, for me wanting to teach them cool things that I know they would be excited about. That's where I feel badly, is they're not able to do everything that I want them to just because of the limits of their instruments.
And so I'm guessing, also going back to your previous answer about one of the challenging moves where they're going to not have their instrument and be fully on the ground. I guess the battery's probably playing at that time, so they don't get to experience that.
It's either that, or the other thing that you have to consider is with their instruments being so big, if I'm a
Right.
judge and I'm watching the show, my eye's going to go, oh, to that person over there
Right.
who is taking their instrument off
Right.
instead of me actually trying to focus on this trumpet soloist and the color guard person that's around them. So part of the reason why a lot of bands don't do choreography is because if they're taking their instruments off, it's just a visual distraction. And so that's the other side of it.
Got it.
You know what? I think the tube is coming out of a giant cake.
I do too.
Would be
I think that would
amazing.
So good. Maybe we can convince them to do that next year.
Just raising slow platform raise, you know?
Yes, out of a giant cake, someone back there like
Yes.
cranking the jack
Yes.
up.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm so excited you thought of that. Like, someone listening has got to do that with their band.
I would
If
love
not
to
here
see
at
that.
Westlake.
I'm sure you will
Yes.
see it. I'm sure you will see
Now
it.
that we've brought it up.
Yes. Now that we've brought it up, that would be amazing.
I love it. There have been some color guards I've seen that do that, but I haven't seen
Not
a
out of a
marching
giant
band.
cake.
No.
Ooh,
We're waiting.
I've seen some, but winter guard shows. Winter guard shows.
Oh, okay.
so,
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll.
that's a different
beast.
Yes.
Right. That's different.
I was speaking with a Bowie student this week.
Oh, okay.
It was a freshman and they were so excited they play trombone.
Okay.
And they were telling me that Bowie does not march with their trombones. So they have a huge trombone feature this year because it's a big deal to have the trombones on the field.
Uh-huh.
How do you choose whether to march with the trombones?
I think it's truly up to the directors and what they feel is easiest, or maybe not even necessarily easiest, but what best aligns with their pedagogy. I've kind of been on both sides of things, being a trombone player. I think the trombone adds a really bright but distinct color to the full marching band sound. I think obviously like you can do glissandos, you can do things like that if you're going to feature it, which is really cool. A baritone though helps warmen and darken up the sound. And so sometimes when you are playing at your fullest dynamic, it's easier to go past a good sound on trombone than it is on baritone. And so in some cases there's a baritone when you're trying to like really get your students to play louder. When they're playing baritone, they're not going to hit that edge limit like you would on
splat?
trombone. Correct, the splat, exactly.
We should call it what it is. It's a splat.
And so it just depends on what you want. I do like the sound of, I really like the timbre of the trombone. I think it's an interesting timbre. And again, you can do unique things with it. I'm also biased because I am a trombone player. However, at the same time, I marched in drum corps, and most drum corps only use, baritones. They don't use a trombone unless it's a feature kind of moment. So I think it's kind of 6 one way, half a dozen another, I would say.
That's so interesting. I don't know that, like, when I've watched marching shows of, like, gone to the competitions, I don't know that I've noticed, like, some bands don't have their trombones. So I'll be looking for that.
It's also an expense thing too, because usually you have to have the all the inventory to be able to provide marching baritones for all of those students, and that's a lot more students than if you were just doing just your baritones.
Right.
And
So.
most students are bringing their own trombones. So
Okay.
So after talking to Mr. Turpin, we learned that Westlake Marching Band is getting a new set of trumpets for marching.
yes,
All matching silver trumpets.
yes, we are. That is true.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
I
It's
know.
very
Look good.
exciting.
How was that decision made?
We were fortunate that we had room in the money that we received from the bond, and we were kind of just prioritizing things of what we want our students to be playing and also what are the things that we needed. And we felt like specifically with our trumpet section, there's a lot of people with very different instruments, and just with that being such a leading voice in the marching, in the marching band, we felt like maybe that one thing that could be beneficial is if they were all playing the same instrument, that is, helping you get at least closer to the same tone qualities, the same tendencies on your instrument, all of those things. And so we were like, well, that could be really beneficial. And it also is going to provide some students a really great instrument for them to play. And there are lots of benefits to it.
So as a follow-up to that, how did you decide to go with the individually produced box versus the more uniform Yamahas?
That one I might have to defer to Mr. Turpin just a little bit on. I think what ended up coming out of that was it was a great bang for our buck, to my knowledge, and Bach's produced some really great instruments, and especially Bach trumpets, and so we were like, let's do it. That it made sense, and that's kind of why we went with that way.
You mentioned that you were in DCI just a few moments ago. Can you tell us who you marched with and maybe how long?
Yeah.
What was your experience like?
So my first summer, I marched with the Blue Knights Drum and Bugle Corps, and that was in 2016. And then I did 2 more years after that. I did 2017 and 2019 with Santa Clara Vanguard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wait, were you there with Mr. Armini?
I was. Mr.
Oh, you
Armini and I
were.
we marched together in 2017. Yep.
Cool.
And we both took 2018 off, and then he aged out that year, so 2017 was his last one. But we shared our experiences in 17 and 18 together.
What a small world. How neat.
Right?
That is funny.
Yeah.
Because he's from Georgia.
I know. It was really cool. I was fortunate. Mr. Pearson was actually the only person I was not super familiar with before I came to Westlake, because Miss Thompson taught me at when I did Independent Winter Guard. She was one of my teachers there, and so I already knew her. I knew Mr. Armini because we marched together, and I knew Mr. Turpin because he was my band director. So it's a
You
really
fit
unique
right
thing.
in. That's really awesome.
It was really cool.
I can't believe you were nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, I was still nervous.
Well, Miss Thompson's coming up in a feature
Oh,
edition.
okay, exciting.
What is your favorite band memory?
One of my core band memories was my senior year of high school. So Westwood and their, I think they've been around for like 35, maybe 40 years. They've been around for a little bit. They've only been to the state marching contest twice.
Really?
In that period of time. And it's a phenomenal band program. It's not saying anything against them. They're in a very competitive area, and they're always competing and doing a really great job. One of those years, though, that they made it was my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And it was this, I can like visually just remember it. We were in San Antonio at the Hero Stadium, and we were sitting up in the stands. We were the first ones to go on for finals, which you can read that one way or another. Some people are like, oh, you're the first ones on, they're gonna, you can set the precedent. And then some people are like, well, you're the first ones on, you might be forgotten about. You know, it's hard to say which way it'll go. But you know, we'd performed first, and then we went and watched some of the other bands, and then we were waiting for results. And there were 6 bands advancing to state that year. We were the last band to be called. And so they were just listing through the names, and, you know, everyone's like looking around at each other, counting on their fingers like, oh, that was the spot. We knew that they were going to be taken. And there were some groups that hadn't been called yet. They'd called 5, and there'd been groups that hadn't been called yet that we were assuming were going to make it. And we were like, well, it's okay. And then they said Westwood, and I can't even describe it. It still brings me like, I have the biggest smile on my face right now because it was just something like we tried so hard to keep on working towards. And, you know, we had 2 years before that, we had made it to area, but we missed it by 1. And
oh, goodness.
it was kind of like one of those things. And so to be a part of that first group that finally could say, yes, we made it was just really, it was a testament to everyone that had worked up to that point to get there. And it still just lives, as people say, it lives rent free in my brain.
That's great. That is great. So we know you've been on some pretty long bus rides. How do you entertain yourself during those long bus rides? What do you do?
Well, let's see. Last weekend when we were going down to San Benito for our football game, I actually was very productive. I was on my computer. I planned for this week. Me and Mr. Turpin were both behind our computers talking about things. So we were spending that time wisely. Maybe wisely or unwisely, I got a credit card. That was a very random thing. I've been in the market for a credit card, and I was like, oh, this is a perfect time. And I try to be proactive with that time. However, sometimes I'm just like, I need to take a nap. And I put my AirPods in and I zonk out, because if I learned anything during my time in drum corps, I can pretty much sleep anywhere. And so a long bus ride usually means I'm going to get some rest, and I'm not mad about it.
I sleep on short bus rides.
Me too, honestly.
Every time we do one of those big bus tours in a city.
Oh my God.
Really?
It's like the most expensive nap for me. It's like, oh, it's a bus, and I'm out.
But don't they on those give you information like while you're riding?
They do, but
So you
it
just-
it cannot.
It's like a white noise.
It is the bus. It's just. Oh my goodness! I'm on a
Really?
bus and I'm probably out in about 2 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
It is insane.
That's faster than me, I will say. That's pretty
It,
impressive.
it makes Mark crazy though. No big bus tours for you.
Why do we spend money on that?
I know. We did London, and all I remember is them talking about the pickle and one building where they had built it in an angle and the sun burned people's dashboards through the windshields.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
the only thing I even remember from the whole trip.
Oh no.
That is too funny.
All right. So taking us kind of back to kind of trips and bus rides and whatnot. What's your favorite band meal?
Oh, that's a tough one. I feel like once upon a time I would have said Chick-fil-A, but I just can't get behind the waffle chips, y'all. The waffle,
Really?
they're just giving me a taste of what I really want, which is the fries and not a chip. It's just not the consistency I'm looking for.
Got it.
So,
Wait, does that mean you're a P. Terry fry person?
oh, I love P. Terry's fries.
Oh, they're just too little.
They are, but I don't know. Being able to see the skin on the potatoes makes it feel like au natural. So I like P. Terry. I also like Chick-fil-A's regular fries, but the waffle chips.
Regular fries.
Oh, because when you get
oh,
band meals,
yes.
you don't get waffle fries.
Correct. We don't get
Oh,
waffle
that's
fries.
right.
We get a bag that says waffle chips. So it looks like they're
Really?
waffle fries, but it's really a chip. And it's
Okay.
basically like a regular Lay's like chip, but in a waffle
Okay.
version of it.
I forgot about that.
Yes.
They're also super salty, which I do love salt, but my sodium levels after eating those are kind of like out of whack. So, so
I hear
that's why I probably couldn't go with Chick-fil-A, which means I'll have to go with.
See what he says.
Oh no! Oh no!
See what he says, Aaron.
This is really hard.
Well, don't worry about it. Someone said salad before, so you
Okay, I
know.
wouldn't say salad. I definitely would not say salad.
I would not either.
I will say we had potbelly, and that was actually quite tasty. If you get it like when the bread doesn't get too soggy, it's pretty tasty.
You know what I think you should have said?
Huh?
Einstein's.
I do love an Einstein's meal. Those are really good.
They got at Einstein's last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
The
that does sound
bagels for
good.
like a breakfast meal, it was delicious.
There's some really good bagels.
and they were ready on time.
Oh, that's even better.
That's a
And-
5-star rating.
And they
right
gave
there.
us an
I know, right?
Amazon gift card.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's impressive.
Okay,
it was
win
like
for
a
you,
win
Einsteins.
everywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I love that.
Okay, Aaron, I'll let you ask this next question. This is awesome.
Here it comes.
Okay,
You
I'm
know
ready.
what it
Are you
is.
ready?
Uh-huh.
TikTok video.
Oh no.
It's pretty awesome. I will have to
It
say
is pretty
it's
awesome.
pretty
And it's
good.
on the
Okay.
band. It's on the band Instagram page.
It's on the. I didn't even know that one.
Oh yeah, it's been on the band Instagram page for
my
over a year.
Gosh.
over a year. That is awesome.
Was it a one-off, or are there others out there?
That's. I would say that is the main one. That kind of reached peaks that I was not anticipating. There's like you can find some small ones of like me here and there where like students are like, Mr. Byers, will you do this like TikTok trend? And I'll do it. So you can find some small ones here and there, but not with the same level of outreach as that one got.
Well, that was quite good production too.
It was.
Oh, it was.
It was pretty good.
We did not know that was going to happen. I mean, so basically the lowdown behind it was me, and this is at one of the school that I last worked for. My coworker was getting married, and he invited me, and the other person who I did the dance with was our color guard director, and we were very great friends. And he sent us a video, kind of a similar
Same type of
vibe,
thing?
yeah, and was like, "It'd be crazy if y'all did that at our wedding." And we said, "Okay."
That
And
is so great.
We did, and we choreographed it together and learned it, and then went up and did it at the wedding, and then lo and behold, the videographer got everything and created that video and posted it on TikTok.
So
and
good.
then the rest is history.
So you really do have some great dance moves in that video. And so here's what I'm wondering.
Uh-huh.
your style of dancing, has it influenced the choreography of the marching show?
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, I draw from things that I know how to teach well. And I think naturally that ends up being like, oh, I really enjoy this move. I know how to teach this move. So the kids are going to learn that. And that doesn't mean that we don't diversify things based on what the show theme is.
Right, of course.
And this year especially, it's definitely a more aggressive show and an exciting show. And so a lot of the choreography that I've taught has mostly been of that nature. But there's like the stuff that I just taught in our part 2 that we were kind of referencing earlier, that they get down to the ground. And a lot of my background when I was dancing in college was through a like modern dance company. And one of the things we did was a lot of groundwork. And so that's why that is a space that's comfortable for me. And I know I can teach well. And so it definitely influences the choreography 100%.
Cool.
Well, that makes me want to ask you, what is your dance background?
So my interest in movement started in drum. DCI, as we all know, is like the professional version of this. And one of the things that they were doing to push the activity was adding more movement and choreography for not just the color guards, but for all members on the field. And so we had to get movement training through that. And so we had a person that was teaching us things, and I kind of established a connection with. And then I really had always been really interested in color guard as well. I wanted to do winter guard in high school for a period of time, but I ended up not. And I came back around to the idea of it in college, and fortunately had the opportunity to go march in independent winter guard. And so definitely got more dance training from that. And then after my first year, similarly, the person who was teaching me a lot of the movement at this winter guard helped teach me. He was dancing for a professional dance company in Austin, and he basically helped train me to audition for that company, and I got to be a part of a modern dance company.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was
That's
a
great.
really cool experience. So it's kind of a diverse experience. I pull from lots of things, but I think that's what makes it so much fun for me.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. Is there anything else you would like to add? We've come to kind of the end of our questions that we had. Is there something else you want the listeners to know?
Oh, gosh. I would say, 1, keep on supporting the marching arts. That's always very important. And I would say I'm going to encourage this camp that I love as well. This is just like a side thing. If we have to edit it out, we can.
No, it's great.
One of these camps that I teach is called the Breakdown Camp, which I feel like what we've talked about has been like choreography. And this is a camp that I get to teach during the summer. And it is one of my favorite things I get to do all year. It is so cool because it's a bunch of band kids that come together and learn dance. And it is like seeing the light bulbs go off is just one of my favorite things. I'm promoting the Breakdown Camp. If you're ever interested, go check it out. There's lots of camps in the Texas area, and it's super beneficial. So,
is there a website for that?
That's a great question. I know the Instagram page more than anything. So there is an Instagram page. It's at the Breakdown Camp.
We're happy to promote that for you.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Happy to. Well, that's awesome. So we just really want to thank you for taking the time to, sit down and chat with us about choreography and marching band and all the things.
Thank you so much.
Listeners, if there's anything that you want to hear more about, or we missed asking Mr. Byers some question that you want an answer to, please make sure you email us at fansoftheband.whs@yahoo.com, and we'll see about getting your questions answered. And I think that's a wrap for episode 4.